You guys know by that band music that it is time for the original Bama Tailgate Show, and we talk to you and preview Alabama football every single Saturday, and we've been doing that for a long time, and now it's talking about a long time. Time to bring on the guru of recruiting from On3 and Bama Online, our longtime good buddy, Andrew Bone. Let me remind you guys, too, that this segment is brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Let's take a drive around recruiting with Andrew Bone. Bone, what's up, brother? How you been?
Been good. Just ready to see what Alabama's going to be able to do against Ole Miss.
You look nervous, Bone. Don't be nervous. These big games, Saban has found a way to take care of business. And 2:30 today at Bryant-Denny Stadium, big showdown, but I think Alabama's going to be all right.
Listen, I'm never nervous. I went through the Shula years while I was in college. I'm never nervous about a game anymore. Back in 2005, 2006, I thought Alabama was going to win every game. I was like, oh, okay, Shula, it's his third year. He's finally going to do something. They went, I think it was that 2005 season. They went 10-2. Thought things were starting to turn around, but clearly they did not, and it was a rough college experience. Besides that special 25 season and the Cotton Bowl win, so going into each season with Nick Saban, it's been a lot different. So never nervous, just more antsy, I guess. Just what's going to happen.
Ready to get out there and kick it off. Well, let's talk recruiting. Yeah, look, just relax. I was there in the Shula days with you. I go back to DeBose. Be glad that you weren't there for that. So look, let's get into this though. Recruiting wise, how are things going for Nick Saban in Alabama? Even though it's a very turbulent 2-1 start so far this year.
And I say that I've said this a few times this week on the radio that recruits don't really look at wins and losses. They don't really care that much about it. They're not going to care as much as fans, as coaches, as players. They just don't really really care much at all about that. They're going to these different schools on game weekends. They're enjoying the experience. They're soaking it in. Obviously, they love being around all the different fans and hearing their names screamed out. Some are even going to sign autographs for kids. Maybe even some grown-ups might even get some autographs from some of these from some of these 5-star recruits that are on campus. But nobody really cares as far as are they winning, are they losing? They're just going to having a good time. Alabama currently sitting with the number 4 recruiting class in the country, according to On3 Sports. We've got the number 1 quarterback recruit in the country, Julian Sayin. Julian's actually going to be in Tuscaloosa today. He arrived yesterday for his official visit. Be in town throughout the weekend. So good to get Julian back on campus. And we had a great interview with him on Bama Online this week. He really kind of broke things down, talked about the quarterback situation, talked about the offense, talked about recent conversations with Nick Saban and Tommy Rees. But I think the biggest takeaway with Julian is he's a solid commitment. He's not looking at any other programs, not talking to any other programs. He's arriving at Alabama in January, actually in December. So he's going to get there for bowl practices, and really excited about the future. Talked about the 2023 class, talked about this 2024 class that he's in, but also talked about 2025, where they have a couple of elite wide receivers in Ryan Williams and Jamie French. So the future is pretty bright in Tuscaloosa with Julian Sayin and this freshman group, the guys that they have coming in, even in next year's class. So I think that with Julian being in town, he's going to be around some other commitments. There's a few targets that are on campus today, including Daniel Hill, 4-star running back out of Meridian High School in Mississippi, one of Alabama's top remaining offensive targets. There's not a lot of recruits that are still out there on the board for Alabama. You look at the class right now, 20 commitments. How many more are they going to sign? not going to be a class where we see, 29, 30 players. We're going to see probably 25, 26. So not a lot of spots remaining. What are the key areas of need for Alabama? Well, they need to get a running back. They need to get an offensive tackle, which Julian Sayin is at the top of their wish list, and he's going to be at the top of their wish list until the early signing period. That's when he's going to make that decision. Defensive line. Can you get one or two more defensive linemen? I think that's definitely going to be a priority for Alabama, getting two more. I think one more is certainly an area that they have to get, but can they get two? I think it's very, very possible. Linebacker, they'd love to get another edge player in this class. Solomon Williams out of Tampa remains at the top of their wish list. He's going to make a decision probably around October the 16th. So if they can get him on board, really the main focus on the defensive side of the ball will be on the defensive front, because they've got 6 defensive back commitments. They've got some great linebacker commits, got 2 defensive line commitments. But if they can get Solomon Williams on board, get a couple more defensive linemen, they're going to be all right. Alabama recruiting not really going to slow down at all. Just guys, you might have a few bumps in the road during the football season. Things are still going well. There's not anybody on any of its current commitments on flip watch. There's a few that are still considering visits elsewhere. We saw Jeremiah Beeman, defensive lineman, took a visit to Colorado last weekend. Plans on taking another visit to Colorado. Not really that concerned about Colorado with Beeman. Family didn't even go with him on the trip. Now they might go on the official visit with him, but they've been to Tuscaloosa just so many times. I think there's a strong comfort feeling down there. Jameer Grimsley, who's an Alabama defensive back commitment, top 100 out of Tampa. Now this is a kid that grew up in a Florida household. Florida obviously had their big win against Tennessee last weekend, but he says he's 100% solid with his. They're still pushing for him, but in the end, I think Alabama's in pretty good shape there. So you keep the guys that you have on your commitment list. You potentially add a couple more pieces over the course of the next 3 months. You got an outstanding class on top of what you signed in 2023, and then great start already in the 2025 class with 6 commits already, which is crazy to me, because it seems like every single year we go into the next recruiting cycle after the early signing period with only 1 or 2 commitments, and people are wondering, well, when are we going to start seeing commitments? Well, Alabama's already up to 6 in this 2025 class, so they're off to a really great start.
Always love hanging out with Andrew Bone, and we've done it on the original Bama Tailgate Show for years. 2:30 Alabama and Ole Miss today, number 13 against number 15. Julian Sayin, I guess the big news is he's going to be in town, and a lot of people feel like he's going to be the next star quarterback. But Jalen Milroe is going to try to be the next star quarterback. We'll see if he can do that as Alabama starter. Bone, tell everyone what you got going on with the On3 Sports Network and Bama Online.
Yeah, go check us out, BamaOnline.com. We're not just a recruiting website; we're a team website. Got a lot of great team coverage on there with Clint Lamb, Jimmy Stein, Travis Ryer, Charlie Potter, and then on the recruiting side, you got myself, Joseph Hastings, who goes out and sees kids and does a lot of interviews, but and then guy that makes it all tick, Tim Watts. So we have a great team over there. Go check us out. I call it elite coverage on the Alabama football. Well, not just football. We're basketball, baseball. We cover it all. So go check us out, BamaOnline.com.
All right, and this segment is presented by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Elantra, the Sinatra, or an SUV like the Tucson. Tailgating doesn't get any better. That's the first hour of the Tailgate Show. We'll come back. More Bama Tailgate Show. And again, if you're watching on YouTube, Roll Tide, everybody, and across the state of Alabama and Pensacola listening on radio, we got the second hour, and it is coming up right after this.